Hi, this is Tom Mura from World Class Coaching with another in our series of animated drills. This week we're starting to use our new Planet Training application. So go to planettraining.com if you're interested in the diagrams that I'm putting together here. So this week I want to go over a 3 versus 2, 2 versus 1 game that many of you may be familiar with, but I really like using this game because you can use it for a lot of different purposes. I like it for fast attacking and goal scoring as the main theme. If you're doing a shooting practice, it's equally useful because there's a lot of shooting opportunities that are created in this. You could also do it as a defending practice because you get both 3v2 situations to defend, and then you'll get 2v1 situations to defend. So you could use it in a number of different ways, but I think it works best for fast attacking and goal scoring. So here's how it's set up. You've got a 20-yard field long and 15 wide. Now that's very general. You can use a larger surface for older players. You could use a smaller surface to keep everything tight. Just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If you've got younger players, maybe you'll make the area smaller. But just for the purposes of this, that's what I usually use, 20 by 15. And you'll have 2 teams that are organized on the same end of the field. And preferably you're going to have at least 6 players on each team. It works best. I don't like having more than 9 players on each team. Otherwise, there's too much standing around and waiting. But the way the game starts is 3 players from one team attack with a ball and try to find and create a goal scoring opportunity. And what I'm usually focusing on here is getting this first player to drive with the ball. So I want them to dribble at a defender. And if they can dribble or at a space, if they can dribble at a defender or at a space and commit that defender to pressuring them there, then they can make a pass to the open player on the outside. So basically what we've done then is we've created a 2v1 situation. Out of a 3v2, now we've broken it down and we've got 2 players against 1 defender trying to take that player on, get in behind, and then get an opportunity to shoot and score. So if we're able to do that, then we're going to be able to attack as quickly as possible, finding the opening and create the goal scoring chance. And I want the players shooting just as soon as possible from these situations so that we're kind of replicating that idea of let's go fast, let's attack quickly. Now, you're not always going to get the opportunity just to attack that 1 defender. Perhaps you need to be a little bit more creative. We need to, let's remove these lines and I'll show you a different way to go about that. You can also create 2v1 situations with movement. And if I pass the ball from this player in the center and play it wide, now what we've done is we've gotten the ball to an outside area, and what this player can then do is make an overlapping run and run around the outside of this player. And if we get them to run the outside angle here, so they go around, they make their run here, they bend that run around the outside. So now we've created a 2v1 situation where this defender has to deal with it. And then if we have this player coming up, if this player comes in to support that and to help that player deal with the overload on that side, then we've created an opportunity to split those 2 defenders and pass to the far side. So by getting that movement and creating that movement initially for the overlap, now we've created the opportunity to play that splitting ball between the 2 defenders and find a shot then on the other side. As you can see. Okay, so you can see how that movement then creates the 2v1, then creates the split, which creates the goal scoring opportunity. So there's lots of these different patterns that you can look for. To me, those are the 2 basic ones as far as driving at a defender at a space, committing a defender to come, and then recognizing which defender commits to pressuring the attacker. And now you create the goal scoring opportunity. So if a goal is scored, the easiest way to think about it then is that whoever scored the goal becomes the 1 defender. And so let's say the shot came from this player here. Ball was here, came from this player, took the shot on goal. So what happens is these 2 attackers would then leave the field, basically come down to this end. The goalkeeper would play the ball out to one of the 2 what were formerly defenders. Now this player has to get into a defending position to defend the 2v1 going the other direction. And then we're talking about all the principles of 2v1, driving at a space, driving at the defender, committing that defender, either laying it off, or if the defender chooses to take the pass away, so if the defender tries to get into the passing lane, then we want this defender, or this attacker, sorry, to be comfortable with dribbling into that space, taking that space, and then looking for their own opportunity to shoot and score rather than passing. Again, with the emphasis on how quickly can we attack, how quickly can we create goal-scoring opportunities. And if that defender sells himself a bit and goes to this side, then obviously they'd be facing the other way, so we'll flip them around. And if they do that to cut off the pass, dribble and shoot. If the defender decides to stay in front, then we're looking for a give and go situation or playing the ball to the outside for that second attacker to take a shot. So as soon as that's completed, now the ball is in the goal or off the field. And the two players that were a moment ago attacking, we'll go ahead and take them off the field as well. Now those two players, and we'll just switch them around, those two players are now acting as defenders. So now we have two new defenders coming on the field here. One there. But they're going to be in gray, aren't they? Because they were, or in black, because they were just attacking and now they're defending. And so that player comes there. We'll add a second one. And so now we have the two players that are going to defend the next three players coming on. So that we had the two players that were defending are now off the field. So really what we would have had in line here is we would have had a fourth player waiting in line with everybody else. And so now those two players that were just defending are off. And so now we have two more that are waiting in line. So those three are off while the next three players then come on the field with a ball, with a single ball, with one ball to then attack these two defenders again to start that pattern. Now, when the players come on the field, the first few times they do this, the player with the ball will run down the middle and the two players will run down the outside. And what I'll encourage the players to do after a few times, after they kind of get the pattern of the drill, and that's usually the first thing with a constant flow drill like this, you want to get the players in the pattern first. Before you even start giving the coaching points, before you start talking about the different options to run and attacking quickly, let's just get the pattern correct so that they understand whoever takes the shot stays on as the defender. These next two get a ball and attack. These next two become defenders, and so on. So you get that pattern going to where they understand it, the game is flowing, and now you can start to talk to them about, well, why don't we have this player dribble the ball on the field? And so instead of that player running immediately to the center, let's have that player start with the overlapping run. Maybe the ball doesn't get played to them. Maybe the ball gets played there because they kind of overload this side. So we didn't play the ball to that overlapper. We played the ball over here to the player in space. And now how do these players react to that movement? Do we get a diagonal run from this player, opening up the other side? Do we get a penetrating run from this player, trying to pull the defense apart and create those angles in those opportunities? So there's a lot that you can do here. I really like the fast-paced nature of the game, as do the players, because it's very quick. If you're doing it properly and the players are really locked in and paying attention, then the game flows very nicely, and it exposes anybody that's not paying attention and not thinking about what their next responsibility is, and exposes them, and they get caught, and they end up either getting, they forget that, okay, if I took a shot and it missed, they're over here bemoaning the fact that they missed their shot instead of realizing, well, this goalkeeper is going to play a ball out to this player, and I've got to defend, but I'm over here complaining about, whining to myself about missing the shot. Well, this player goes and scores. So you've got to react quickly, think about the next thing to keep the game flowing. If these two players forget to turn and defend quickly, then the next three can come out and get a big opportunity to have an advantage in attacking that way. So it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. You can play it to a certain time limit. You can play it to a certain number of goals. But give that game a try with your team, and I think they'll enjoy it and get a lot out of the fast attacking and goal scoring aspect of it.